Good morning, Blue Devil Nation. My name is Juan Pablo.
And I'm Andres McLeish. And welcome to Blue Devil News.
So, Andres, you've heard of Franklin Road, right?
Yeah.
Well, now Franklin Road has a bad stigma of violence going against it.
Yeah, and a good portion of our student body is from Franklin Road, so we sent a team of BDN reporters down there to go check it out.
As you guys may know, there has been a lot of rumors going around the school about the status of Franklin Road. So we've decided to journey down there and figure out what's really going on.
I mean, Franklin Road is a no-safe zone, just let me say that like that.
Yeah, I think it's more dangerous than safe.
I think Franklin Road, it can get better, but ever since I moved down here in seventh grade, it's been improving through the years.
It isn't the people on Franklin Road that are doing the majority of the crimes there, okay? So I think sometimes it's an unfair reputation for the people who live there.
Ain't nobody getting stabbed, ain't nobody getting shot.
Dude, are you serious?
People go to school back and forth. Man.
I mean, yeah, man. It's not that bad as people say it is.
If you don't live on Franklin Road, people think that Franklin Road is a bad place, but you will never know until you live here and just settle in and get to know everybody around, go places, and enjoy life.
Sometimes Franklin Road has, what the kids tell me is they feel like it has a bad reputation where they live. And there is a good bit of crime on Franklin Road, but the vast majority of the people who commit crimes on Franklin Road don't live on Franklin Road.
It's a great place. It's a great place to hang out with people.
Nothing really happened to me since, no actually never happened to me, so everything's good with me.
I'm never actually home. I never, come outside. I'm usually either doing after school activities or out with family or something, I don't really.
I mean, I feel safe at sometimes, but not at when I walk outside. I play sports, so I'm never home. It's where people live. They don't got a right to just come and tear down a neighborhood. I mean, it helps, but just because of the name Franklin Road has, people still not gonna move here regardless.
I mean, I believe it's more of the reputation of Franklin Road. Although, they might remodify it, as y'all say, or make it more, Caucasian friendly. I don't think, Caucasians will, move here due to reputation it holds.
If they destroy buildings that's kind of old and make something new out of it to support the kids on the block.
Only 2 complexes out of the 13 down there are going through any changes. So I think people thought things were going to happen very quickly, but they're really not.
Well, there you have it. This is Malik Dottie reporting for Blue Devil News.
Truly a good community at heart.
It really is.
But on the other side of Cobb County, there's a new problem on the rise.
What is that problem, Mom?
Drug abuse. There's an increase in drug abuse in teens in this region.
Let's go ask Courage and Alondra what they found out.
According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, 27.2% of American students in all grades K through 12 partake in illicit drugs. That includes alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, powder cocaine, crystal meth, and prescription painkillers. In Cobb County, drug use by teens has become a growing epidemic amongst all students, no matter what background or culture. At Marietta High School, many students have personally felt the impact of these illegal substances. Several students here at Marietta sat down with us to share their personal stories.
Growing up, my uncle, he was on crack. Growing up, he did crack for about 13 years, and then he was in and out of prison for 9 years. But during those 9 years, he was still doing crack. And that right there, that when I was 11, I was still young, I didn't understand, but that changed my life. So from that day forward, I just knew I wasn't going to do drugs or participate in things like that.
Growing up, my dad, he's on weed. He smoked weed all day, every day. But it's he was in and out of jail a lot, especially throughout his 20s. He only spent 2 years in his 20s, not in jail. So seeing him smoking all the time and seeing what it was doing to him, messing up his inside and jump, I didn't really want to take that path because at the time I was doing 3 sports, and my mom kept telling me if I do what he do, I'm not gonna be able to do what I want to do in life. And as your dad, you want to look at him like a that's your role model, like that's your pops. You want to be just like him, but I ain't wanna take that path.
Take a look around you. 1 out of every 4 teens are taking drugs. Are you going to be just another statistic, or are you going to be different? Be drug-free. You can find out more information at drugfree.org.
It's a very serious issue, Quan.
Definitely is. It's sad to see that some kids won't be graduating this year because of it.
And speaking of graduation, isn't it sad that our seniors won't be able to graduate this year from Northcutt?
Yeah, I heard about that. They're renovating it, so the class of 2015 will be graduating in the gym.
And it's so sad that OM students won't be able to graduate in the field.
OM?
Old Marietta students. Their parents and grandparents graduated on that field.
Marietta, a community where tradition is held sacred, along with its myriad places, such as Northcutt Stadium, where the Marietta Blue Devils play their football games, and where every class has graduated since its opening in the 1940s. Until this year, due to approved renovations to the stadium, the class of 2015 will not be able to graduate in Northcutt, breaking family traditions for some.
Alright, my name is Lydia Calloway, and all my family has graduated in Northcutt. Both my parents and my grandparents. Fortunately, I followed the tradition of graduating in Northcutt, but obviously we're doing renovations, so...
Because of renovations, the class of 2015 will graduate at the gym in Marietta High School. Because of its limited seating, each student is given 5 tickets to give to his or her family.
Well, with 5 tickets, I guess I can invite my parents, my brother, and I guess my grandparents. But we have a lot more family than that in Marietta. My whole family lives in Marietta, so it's disappointing, I guess, that they're not all going to be able to see me.
The stadium renovations are expected to be completed in July, just in time for the 2016 football season.
I really did want to graduate from Northcutt this year, you know?
Yeah, but it's not all bad. One of Marietta's own seniors has been excelling in the swimming pool.
Who?
Tyler Harper.
Tyler, yeah. Let's go see what Jeffrey Yabro found out about Tyler Harper.
At a championship meet where you're in a race, it is an extremely weird feeling. I mean, it's impossible to describe. If you were to take place in a sport or like have a race, you'd kind of feel it, but it's almost like your body goes into autopilot, and your body just knows what to do, and you kind of blank out, and it's like one moment you're behind the blocks and you're getting ready, and the next moment it's over, and you look up at your time and you did amazing and you've won. You know, really, if you think about it, the more you think about your race, the slower you're gonna go. My life has, it's been completely filled with swimming. You know, I don't have much time to do much of anything. I come home from school and I get any homework that I have done, and then I go straight to the pool, and I get back around 7 and do my homework and eat and then go back to sleep, and then I wake up 3 out of the 5 days of the school week to go to practice before school. So it's really, really exhausting. It's really, really hard to find time to do homework and be social. But it's 100% worth it at the end. Just everything, it's worth it.
He always loved the water. He said he got into swimming because of me, that when he was about 5, he said it's too hot outside. So I put him on the swim team, and that's how it began, the neighborhood swim team.
You have to make sure that you first love the sport. You know, time is a huge part of it. I practice for 3 hours a day, so you know, if you don't love the sport and you're not willing to put time into it and have passion with it, it's not enjoyable. You know, that's the biggest thing about me is I love what I do. I love going in there and seeing all my friends, you know, for 3 hours a day. I love practicing for 3 hours a day, and swimming is a sport that's not particularly exciting every moment. Swimming laps and practice back and forth, you know, it can get really dull really fast, but you have to learn to love it, and that's what I've done, and I think that's probably one of the biggest parts of my success.
You know, when he sets his mind on something, he definitely goes after it. And I think he enjoys the camaraderie of his teammates. Mm-hmm. The one of the many good things about his swim team is training for life. They really do have good friendships, good work ethic. It's a good team.
Watching Tyler in the water is, in one word, it's just kind of like, wow. I mean, obviously he's pretty fast, and then also the fact that he, it's really, I think it's more of a form thing than a speed thing. It's more of watching his form is the impressive part about it.
And he would go online, he would look at videos, and I said, especially with this freestyle, I said, we would talk about what I was doing for other kids, and I said, when you have it, you will know it. And it was probably about a year later, and he goes, I know exactly what you mean now. I have it, I feel it. And that's when he started to really take off.
Success is really hard. It's really hard to put a nail on, like, where exactly it is. I always felt like if I was enjoying myself, and I am, and I love swimming, you know, if I'm happy and if I'm happy with where I am and how I'm doing, then, you know, that's success. You know, if I make it to the Olympics, awesome. If I'm happy that I make it to the Olympics, you know, that's everything. That's just the way I feel about the sport.
The senior who was in that, he didn't place terribly well, and neither did the freshman, Bartnicki.
Yeah, Thaddeus Macon won that race, but Luke Bartnicki got 9th and Jacob Williams got 6th. And to be honest, I really thought that Thaddeus Macon should have been on the podium in the 50 freestyle, not just in the A final. So that's something that they're really going to want to watch out for.
For Walton, not to be harsh, but that's not good enough for them if they're going to
absolutely not. And it'll be difficult for them to climb back uphill. The 50 free, no mistakes, and you walk away a champion. If you make one mistake, it's it.
Alex Taylor in the middle.
Yeah, watch out for Alex Taylor, Dalton Vaught, Tyler Harper. Tyler Harper's going to walk away with it.
It is Tyler Harper in 6. Marietta, the Blue Devil, comes away with the victory, the senior.
And a huge break for Walton against Alpharetta. Alpharetta falling into 6th place. Jay Wellman really probably could have been a little bit better. But I want to point out, every swimmer but one under the 22 mark. That's the indicator of a fast high schooler. If you're under 22 in the nation, typically that's when you're probably in the top 1% of the state or of the swimmers. And right there we have 9 guys.
So Tyler Harper has come over many obstacles to get where he is today.
Yeah.
Just like many of the first generation students here at the high school.
You mean like coming in from different countries and language barriers, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They've had to adapt so much to try to come into a different country.
Let's go see what the BDN team found out about first generation students.
Many cultures are represented here in Marietta High School. What some people overlook is the difficulty of transitioning from one country to another. Here are a few students that shared their experience.
Calvin Uche Jr. at Conquo. When I first came here, I was 17 years old, and coming from a German school to American school, the difficulties that I had was I used to use words that Americans actually don't use, and so people used to ask me where am I from, I speak too proper, like those type of questions.
Hi, I'm Estelle Berti. I'm 17 years old. I came here when I was 5 years old and from France. And I didn't know any English, and I just remember not understanding what anyone was saying to me. And it was really hard, but since I was little, I easily adapted to the language.
I'm Andreas McLeish, and my parents are from Mexico, and they moved over here like a few years before I was born. I was born here, and right now I would be the first. I'm gonna be the first student like in my direct family that's gonna graduate from high school, and then I'll end up being the first one going to college.
Hey, I'm Lydia de Campos, and I moved to the United States when I was 7 years old from Brazil. One of the obstacles I faced was not knowing any English at all. People used to make fun of me. I used to be verbally bullied because they said I had a funny English, or they would say things to me and I thought it meant something else. It's an obstacle that I've overcome. It benefits me now because I know 2 languages, Portuguese and English. And yeah, I still have difficulties, but I learn every day, and I'm gonna graduate from high school. I'm gonna be the first in my family to go to college here in the United States. And it's really something that I can say that I'm proud of for my family here and the ones back in Brazil, that I am an example for my younger sisters and everybody else who struggles to get here, and once they are here, that you can make it no matter what race, religion, ethnicity, anything. If you set your mind to it, if you achieve it, you can make it no matter what, as long as you try.
The welcoming Marietta community is really helping the kids with the change.
Marietta is just such a welcoming community. You know, they excel at helping everybody. Just like Chef Pratt's culinary class. And they go out and feed those that are in need.
Let's go see what Marietta's own Michael Magley's has cooking up for us today.
Caring, selfless, and charitable, works that have now found a home in our culinary department. Apart from housing brilliant cooks and the delicious Double Rock Cafe, there's also the Extension Program, a club who has partnered with the MHS Culinary Program to aid the less fortunate with their meals.
Well, the Extension has been around for quite a number of years here in our community, and it serves homeless men and women who have addiction problems, substance abuse problems.
The people at the men's shelter are very appreciative of what the MHS Culinary students and Chef Pratt have done for them.
And it's great because it's a win-win situation, because they get it at the cost, so they're not paying any more money, but they get a lot better food.
Hopefully the Extension Program will continue to grow.
So we hope to continue this program for many years. It's been very beneficial for our students.
Throughout this process, it has been a humbling experience for not only the people at the men's shelter, but for Chef Pratt and the culinary students themselves.
It's nice to see them, like, just be there to help.
No matter what path the students end up taking, the impact of the program will always carry on through them.
I realized that my students could learn, even if they don't go into the industry to be a chef, they now have the knowledge of how to cook for 50 people, how to make it, how to serve it, and so they'll be able to go out and hopefully do some great work in our community in the future.
You know, that probably sounds as good as it tastes.
You know what else sounds good?
What?
Music. And one of Marietta's own is producing his own mixtape. Let's go check it out.
You know, to be completely honest, nothing actually inspired me. It just, there's no kind of like, there's nothing that really drove me to do it.
Although not directly inspired by them, artists such as Milo and Earl Sweatshirt introduced John to the overall genre of rap, aiding in his appreciation and love for the art.
Yeah, the message, well, you know, obviously the mixtape's called Purgatory, and I put that as a reason because, you know, in my life right now, I'm not like sad or anything, I'm not depressed, but I'm not necessarily like the happiest human being on the planet. I'm just like, you know, living or whatnot. And a purgatory is basically like a place in between heaven and hell. So I wanted to kind of convey that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I wanted to show people that you can do whatever you want, you just have to want to do it.
When he's not making music or producing, John typically enjoys spending his time skateboarding with his friends.
Well, a lot of my friends kind of drove me to actually doing the project and everything. You know, my buddy Mark over there, he's on the outro.
You know, he started to actually take bigger steps, and he ended up getting his own mic. So now
You know, he has programs on his computer, he has his mic, and he's got it done like within, you know, less than a year.
His debut mixtape, Purgatory, is available for free download on websites such as Bandcamp and SoundCloud, both under the name Bias Johnny.
Wow, that was amazing.
That's good. And if he keeps working hard, he'll end up going places.
Well, that's it for today, Marietta. And remember, don't hide your Blue Devil pride.